Hey everyone, it's Ethan or Miist back again for another video today, and welcome back to the channel, guys. We're here again for yet another video, and today we're going to be talking about every movie I watched last week. Of course, going to be continuing this weekly series. Now, if you don't follow me on Letterboxd, you should follow me on Letterboxd. The link is in the description. Feel free to follow me because you get to see all the movies I watch early before I make this video. And with that being said, let's get into it. Starting it off with my least favorite watch of the week, which is Lady in the Water by M. Night Shyamalan. Now, I'm only missing 2 M. Night movies from his catalog, and it is his first 2 movies, I believe, which I probably will watch at some point. I'm not too worried about it now. I've pretty much watched... Actually, sorry, I'm missing 3, because I also haven't watched The Last Airbender, but I'm not going to watch The Last Airbender until I've watched the show, the animated anime show. So, anyways, Lady in the Water, I didn't enjoy very much. I thought it was really uninteresting and really boring, and ultimately it just wasn't a movie for me. I ranked it a 23 out of 100. Moving on to Godzilla City on the Edge of Battle. Now, this is actually the second of a trilogy, which is an anime trilogy on Netflix, so you can watch that if you'd like. Honestly, I wouldn't recommend any one of these 3 movies, to be honest. I don't think any of them are good. I'm not a huge fan of the animation, and I really didn't care for many of the characters, if any of the characters. So, I mean, they get lower rankings. And unfortunately, an anime Godzilla movie really disappointed me, which I was not expecting, because not just 1, not just 2, but all 3 did. So, yeah, City on the Edge of Battle, I ranked a 32 out of 100. I just, again, didn't enjoy it really at all. So, moving on to Godzilla the Planet Eater, which is the 3rd of the trilogy. I did enjoy this one a little bit more. It was cool to see Ghidorah, even though it was really different from what I'm used to. I don't like the tease of Mothra with absolutely nothing, literally just a clip of Mothra, and that's it. And I think the ending is quite silly. Just don't like the ending of this trilogy very much at all, but a 40 out of 100 for The Planet Eater. So let's move on to the first of the trilogy, which is Godzilla Planet of the Monsters, which again, I didn't love this movie either, but it's my favorite of the trilogy, and I'll give it a pass because there's no Godzilla content in this movie pretty much at all. It's really just flashbacks. The only Godzilla content we get is kind of towards the end of the movie, really. And again, I said I'll give it a pass because most of this movie does not actually take place on Earth. So, well, maybe not most, but a good portion of it. But still, I don't understand why these Godzilla movies don't have Godzilla in it, especially in anime Godzilla film. Like, where is the destruction? One thing I did enjoy about these movies is that this version of Godzilla was absolutely petrifyingly strong, which I did enjoy that. But apart from that, I don't know. Didn't enjoy a whole lot of it. So, yeah, 43 out of 100. Let's move on to Grown Ups 2, which I watched with Mel. Mel and I watched both Grown Ups movies together this week, which we were happy about because I love watching these movies in the summer because they're like super comfort summer movies. And I know a lot of people don't like these movies, but I personally do. I did lower my ranking for the second one, though. I removed it from a 67 down to a 64. So still pretty close. I mean, it's not like it's a drastic change or anything. But ultimately, I just didn't enjoy it as much on rewatch. I don't even know how many times I've watched these 2 movies. It's probably a ridiculous number. I've watched these movies many, many times throughout my life. So it's the first time Mel and I got to watch them together, which I enjoyed that we get to watch them together. And Mel was quoting this one a lot, so I know she enjoyed both. But 64 out of 100. Let's move on to Unbreakable, which was one of the most disappointing watches of the week for me because I really thought I was going to enjoy this movie. I knew that this was kind of like a comic book movie, and really this entire trilogy is kind of almost just one movie together, which I really enjoyed. I loved I did enjoy this trilogy. I shouldn't say I love the trilogy. I did enjoy the trilogy, though. Obviously, 65 out of 100 for Unbreakable really sucks. This one really disappointed me because I thought I was going to enjoy it more, and I really didn't. And I know Goose was very disappointed in my ranking when I had sent it to him. So one thing that I really do love about this trilogy, though, is M. Night's truly apparent love for comic books throughout this trilogy, throughout this movie. I really enjoyed that, so that was really nice to see. And this is a super grounded and realistic superhero movie and superhero franchise slash universe slash trilogy, which I did really enjoy. But ultimately, I'm not a huge fan of Bruce Willis, so I feel like that does kind of have an effect on my rank in this movie. But we'll talk about that a little bit more later. So let's move on to The Visit. Now, I watched this Saturday night before going to bed. It was almost 3 o'clock by the time I had finished it, and I was genuinely frightened. This is another M. Night movie, and this movie was quite horrifying at times, I'm not gonna lie. Especially found footage horror can be really scary. A spoiler for you guys: when the kids were playing under the house and they see the grandmother running at them, bro, that absolutely had me fucking shook, man. I was so scared. Not many movies scare me, but this movie, man, I gotta change that backdrop. Holy fuck, that's anyways, not many movies scare me, especially not like genuinely give me scares. This movie gave me scares and really gave me creepy vibes. So yeah, shout out M. Night, honestly, because this was a very thrilling movie. The only thing that really ruined this movie for me was, unfortunately, I had seen the reveal, the twist on TikTok before. So when I seen that scene, I'm like, oh, I've seen that before. And instead of like, oh my god, you know? So that kind of sucks. But overall, I mean, I ranked it a 70 out of 100. I honestly really don't know how to rank this one because this is the first movie I've watched in a really long time where I was like genuinely scared, so I really didn't know what to rank it. Like if I go on like scary rankings, this would be a really highly rated movie. But yeah, I don't know. Anyways, I did enjoy this movie. So let's move on to Glass, which is the end of this trilogy, of course. Unbreakable, Split, and Glass are three main characters from this trilogy. This was really awesome, honestly. I really enjoyed this movie. I know a lot of people don't enjoy this movie. That kind of goes with most M. Night movies, to be fair, which is really sad. I think M. Night deserves better because he's a fantastic director. Nonetheless, I really enjoyed the ending of this trilogy, and I mean, Mr. Glass's plan is one of the best plans I've ever seen in cinema. Like, truly, it's amazing. And this story, seeing how it all intertwines from the opening scene of the first movie of Unbreakable, I really, really love. And I really, really enjoyed that. So I am a big fan of this trilogy, especially the way that it ends. I really like this trilogy. And yeah, I don't really know what to say. Again, this is a super grounded and realistic version of superheroes, which I really enjoyed. And ultimately, I really enjoyed all three characters by the end of this as well. So we'll move on to The Sixth Sense. Now, I do feel like this one is a little surprising with how low it is. At only an 83 out of 100. I do think this is a great movie, although the ending really sets it up for me a lot because I didn't love this movie, I'm not gonna lie. For most of this movie, I thought it was a good movie. Like, it was pretty chill. Like, I would have ranked it a low 70. And then the ending really, really boosted it for me. And I am one of the, 10 people on Earth that did not know how The Sixth Sense ended. And I'm so glad I didn't know, so I got to experience that because I was absolutely shook to my fucking core, man. I seen this with Ryan, and I was absolutely stunned. And I was crying at the end of the movie, and it was so sad. Truly, devastating movie, but I really enjoy the end. Like I said, I didn't love this entire movie, but again, I don't know what it is about Bruce Willis, or maybe it's Bruce Willis and M. Night together. I'm not really sure, but I didn't love that aspect from the film. But the rest of the film, I did enjoy. Haley Joel Osment was absolutely incredible. He was a genuine force on screen throughout this movie, and I really, really loved watching him act as just such a young kid. And again, the ending, man, the ending. I never, ever thought of it. Ever. Not once did that option cross my mind. So, yeah, an 83 out of 100. Let's move on to Split, which is my favorite of the trilogy, of the Unbreakable trilogy, and I ranked it an 87 out of 100, mostly for how amazing James McAvoy and Anya Taylor-Joy are, because they are both absolutely amazing in this movie. And I know everyone talks about how amazing James McAvoy is in this movie, but we need to talk more about Anya Taylor-Joy as well, because she is amazing in this movie. They both have tremendous performances that I really, really enjoyed, and ultimately the story is very interesting as well, in my opinion. And I really like how we eventually kind of connect this universe, where at the very end of the movie we get really the lead into Glass. Glass is the only movie where we get all three characters together, but again, I really like the lead into Glass. So that was number 3 of the week. So let's move on to number 2 of the week, which is Grown Ups, which I ranked an 88 out of 100, actually going up from an 84 to an 88. Now, one thing I love about Adam Sandler is because I personally think Adam Sandler is funny and is hilarious, and his movies are really funny, and I quite enjoy most of his movies from what I've seen so far. Now, with that being said, I find my comedy is definitely suited more towards Adam Sandler vibes rather than, like, for example, I watched Zoolander 1 and 2 last week. I didn't really enjoy that kind of comedy. It's kind of like the Ben Stiller, Owen Wilson comedy, where I much more prefer, I guess, Adam Sandler's comedy. So, again, I think that's just why I enjoy Grown Ups so much. There is a lot of dumb comedy in both of these movies, but honestly, I don't really find myself cringing at these movies, to be honest, which I do at most comedy movies. So, second favorite of the week, and I felt like it deserved that boost in rank. So, let's move on to my favorite movie of the week, which is Signs. Now, this is another one I actually got to watch with Ryan. I watched Signs and The Sixth Sense with Ryan this week. So, yeah, Goose really wanted to watch this with me because of the amazing nightmare fuel that this was for him as a kid, and how unsettling it was at the time when he had seen this. And yeah, I mean, you can read my review. I feel like I put it into pretty good words. Unsettling, disturbing, and intense nightmare fuel. So, that's cool. This was a staple of Ryan's childhood, or teenagehood, I guess, because he was very scared of this movie when he had seen it. So I did find some scares in this movie, mostly, like, not terrifying jump scares or anything, but there were some really good thrilling scenes, and there were a few scares, which I did enjoy, and some very powerful performances, mostly from Mel Gibson. Mel Gibson was really awesome on screen. Both of the kids were really, really great as well. Rory Culkin and I think it's Abigail Breslin. Is that correct? Let me double check that. But both of the kids were really, really great. Yes, that is correct. Rory Culkin and Abigail Breslin, yes. So yeah, they were both really great. Joaquin Phoenix was just really funny in this movie. Ryan kept saying that he's his spirit animal, and I absolutely love the tinfoil hats. I think that is so funny. This had a really cool premise and a really interesting story, and this not only goes for my favorite movie of the week, but it also makes it my favorite M. Night movie at a 94 out of 100. So shout out to James Newton Howard as well for the absolutely petrifying score throughout the movie as well. So really enjoyed that. And yeah, I mean, that's it for the week. Now, one thing I do want to talk about, obviously, last week and this week, I watched pretty much all of M. Night's filmography. which I personally enjoy. I know a lot of people don't enjoy his filmography. There are a few duds in his catalog, but mostly I think he's pretty fantastic. Now, again, I'm missing 3 movies currently, and they are 3 of his lower rated movies, but nonetheless, I am excited to eventually finish those. But shout out M. Night. He's got a real interest in water. I mean, water is a theme in almost every single one of his movies, which I think is very funny. You can talk about Old, the Sixth Sense, Unbreakable, Split / Glass, Signs, of course, The Lady in Lady in the Water, sorry. So many. After Earth. Anyways, thank you guys all so much for watching. Hopefully you did enjoy, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Follow me on Letterboxd, and bye-bye.